Hello everybody, my name is Magda Cardoso and today I'm here to present you my work for English Culture for Business 2 in the Master's Degree Intercultural Studies for Business. Today I'm going to talk about the everyday life in the United Kingdom, specifically the food and clubs and pubs. We all have a preconceived idea of the most varied cultures. When we think about English culture, we think about Big Ben, the Buckingham Palace, even Mr. Bean, the start of a good morning with a breakfast based on eggs and bacon, a good cup of tea at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, a long night in clubs or pubs, depending on our social status. It comes to our mind. Not just a stereotype, but they genuinely enjoy, like for example, drinking their tea. For this, they are referred to as cuppa, and this ritual begins in the morning at the breakfast, in breaks, and before going to bed. It is also a popular drink when receiving guests, and they even have a tradition where they soak their sugar cookies in their already called dunking, so in their tea. So there are a lot of traditions when it comes to even food, and this leads us to, although many do not realize that there is a connection between food and culture, it is more real than many people think. On an individual level, we all grew up eating food from our own culture, and experiencing that of others as it were enriching. So the others' food culture. Many of us associate certain foods with our childhood, having a special value for each one of us. On a larger scale, food is important to culture. Traditional cuisine is passed down from generation to generation. It is an expression of cultural identity which can be seen when immigrants move to other countries yet maintain their eating habits. This leads us to ask, what is food culture? And according to the essential, as you can see, it refers to food culture, refers to the practice, attitudes, and beliefs, as well as the networks and institutions surrounding the production, distribution, and consumption of food. That is a mouthful, so let's break it down. Food culture is the connection, beliefs, and experience we have with food and our food system. It's not it incorporates our cultural heritage and ethnicity. So it is more than just food, actually. But English food. During the 19th and 20th century, has nationalism gained strength. It influenced people's lives and their identity in the modern world. The established British monarchy helped to develop particular traditions precisely in the centuries that I have mentioned. When it comes to English cuisine, we should expect boiled meat, vegetables, potatoes, a lot of potatoes, sprouts, carrots, unsalted chips. Also came with all the dishes, and only the cakes and puddings tasted good. So it was a cuisine that haven't a good quality. So the explanation for this may lie in the fact that the British have long kept the ration tickets even after the World War II and become used to the saving. To a surprise, globalization and the entry of foreigners in their territory, this has even caused their consumption habits. Food continued to represent the type of social classes that you belong to. However, foreign food throughout a union in that this type of food started to be enjoyed by a small group number of people. However, what may seem strange to many is that vegan food became like likable for masses. Even in 1992, even okay. Then, as many know, English are known by its full breakfast, even though there isn't as common as we imagine. However, a typical breakfast it is with bacon, eggs, sausage, toast, mushrooms, beans, tomatoes. We also have beef Wellington, is a fillet of steak covered in a pate, and afterward moved in a bake. Also, we have the most known French fries, fish and chips, French fries. It is really famous in British culture. Also, in Scottish dishes, we have haggis by Scotland artist Robert Burns, and it is basically a dish made of sheep's spunk. Liver, lungs, and heart are mixed flavors. In terms of drinks, we have whiskey in Scotland. Also, in Northern Ireland, we have the breakfast food. Ulster fry is a Northern Ireland's first dish comprising of frankfurters, bacon, eggs, and tomatoes. We have bread also, and we also have the soda bread, where we have it is filled in as a side dish with meals, and it is also a base for a sandwich, of course. Move on to Welsh dishes. We have the thing that we have to notice. It is that Wales was influenced by the part of England, which means their neighbors. However, when it comes to dishes, their dishes were created with the limited ingredients, so their recipes are made with limited ingredients. So unlikely in England, where meals were first enjoyed in the dining rooms of the gentry, in Welsh that doesn't happen. So Welsh rarebite, where we have in the first image, it is made with a mix of liquefied cheddar, and it is put over the toasted bread, and also it can have tomatoes or bacon on top. Also, we have of course, another Welsh dish that it is our lamb, Welsh lamb, that it is also one of the most known dishes, and a few group of people also add chicken or hamburger to this recipe, and it also has a little of cheddar on top. Moving on, we have to have fun. We must talk about serious matters, however, in a public space, so where we gather with our friends. So the club that we are going to talk about, it isn't the club that we are used to in Portugal. The definition of clubs in here are the gentlemen's club in the UK. Has it is the a private club of a type originally set up by and for British upper class men in the 18th century. A men's club is a private social club of a sort initially set up by men, as I have mentioned, and numerous nations can come and to this men's club. Like when we had the British Empire, men's from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh would come. They would have a proper lunch area, a bar, a library, a pool room, and at least one parlor for reading, gaming, or socializing. So that's where we have men discussing ideologies, politics, and one of the most known, it is the working men's club in the first image, and we also have the Bloomsbury set. Also, moving on to the history of pubs, the definition, it is a little different. Famous all over the world, the incomparable British bar isn't only a spot to drink beer, wine, or juice. It is anything but a special social place. All the time, the focal point of local area lives in towns, villages, and urban areas. However, the British pub appeared as an Italian wine bar 2,000 years ago, and even when the Romans invaded all of Europe, it was created the tavernae. So this is where it comes from. So from the beginning of time, people will come, eat, and talk about what it is the concerning of in their lives. So it is where they have a glass of beer, wine, it depends. And it is most focused on people that pass by and people of work. Moving on, I have to end my presentation. So to make my final considerations, I have to say that it is undeniable that everything we do in our day-to-day, it is our culture. One thing you need to realize is that everything has its context. Even the dishes we have eaten since our childhood. In addition to that, we also have the attitude we have towards life that can also be seen as something that defines you. So, for example, if we have fun or if we gather together to discuss politics in a certain place, it can become our culture, our country's culture. So this led us to the creation of the most varied clubs and pubs by the United Kingdom. And on a personal level, this work helped me to understand a new reality that we are effectively used to. We see that English supposedly eat a breakfast with bacon and eggs and everything, but it is just something that doesn't happen nowadays because people only have to eat what they need to go to work, and that doesn't happen, and it isn't healthy at all. As well, the fact of clubs and pubs, it isn't like we are used to, like the discotecas in Portugal. I must say that understanding the culture in a different way is quite important. So in addition to that, I have to say that we are the ones that create the culture from our country. So if people didn't decided to cook in a certain way because there weren't any food, because they wanted to got out with their friends and talk about politics, this British culture that it is so strong wouldn't happen. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening to me, and see you.